I read what Eve did to Adam. I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, it's an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening. Is in fact if revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jake. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but their question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell should've never kidnapped my family. I can't be too baby, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light work. It ain't on who got the gun, it's on who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chains. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitching about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow son, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his gang, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Order up. Ticket, next. Order up, go. Next in line. Watch the flames.
Yeah, I am stressed, Fitbit. Breathe. Listen to your body. Feel your power. Fitbit by Google.
Yeah, Babylon is falling, to rise no more. Babylon is falling, to rise no more. Falling, to rise no more. To rise no more. I'm taking a look in the streets. It's real every day what I see. We constantly searching for peace. My people just wanna be free. We tired of the cell blocks and the bullshit. That lying nigga in the pulpit. Same shit, but a different day. I speak truth, they ain't come to play. You in the way, better move, nigga. That follow no way gon' be cool, nigga. Say you're gonna get that tool, nigga. Matter of fact, get you by two, nigga. You see the signs that's in front of you? Shots in the rough from up under you. Shit is gon' fall, yeah, I promise you. Make up your mind what you gonna do. You heard it? Now listen. Your life, my business. You are my brother. We need each other. This truth, I live it. I will defend it. You are my brother. You are my brother. Yeah. Babylon is falling, to rise no more. Babylon is falling, to rise no more. Falling, to rise no more. My brother, my brother, my brother. Get your hands up, it's a war now. Take a good look at this world. It's time to go hard, don't be scared now. I know you're feeling the stress. Look on your face, yeah, and I need some help. But we made it happen with less. You and my blood, I feel what you felt. Destruction on every corner. Every day I feel like a loner. Keeping the faith, that is my armor. This is a test, but nothing can harm you. Don't be scared of truth when you hear it. Don't compromise your spirit. Don't be trying to live like these white folks. Don't be trying to chill with these white folks. Brotherhood is a weapon, and that's the shit that I stand for. If you keep the law and live it, now you a nigga I'll stand for. Got no time for that fake shit. That shit I can't stand, bro. Still believe in that flag. So what the hell do you stand for? Babylon is falling to rise no more. Babylon is falling to rise no more.
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Hey, if y'all hear me in the chat, give me a 1. Give me a 1. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to the brothers. Shalom, what's going on, sir? Shalom, Shamar Tha Bashim Yahushua to the sisters. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Coming up under Commanding General YAHANNA. And tonight's class is the law class all over the globe, taught by the priests and prophets of the I.S.U.P.K. You hear me? So tonight I'm gonna start off with 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. You feel me? Because we live in a world without order, you know. In the household, we have no order. Just living our daily lives, we have no order. There's no structure because we don't follow the law. Because if you know anything about law, comes order, right? Let me get that scripture.
Check. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3.
Go ahead.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Right. This is right here breaking down who's in charge of every man, right? This is talking to the Israelites, if you didn't know. Every man, the head of every man is Christ, meaning what? You have to follow Christ because Christ is your king, Israel, right? Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
I know this is hard for our sisters in the world to understand, but that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man is in charge of you, sis. And if he's a righteous man, you're gonna follow what he has going on in that household, right? Because he's not going to lead you astray. He's going to teach you the things you need to be taught. He's going to lead you into things that's just going to make you prosperous and help you and your children prosper through life and protect you, right? He's not going to, if he's not a drug dealer, he ain't going to have your house shut up. You ain't got to worry about your mama or your kids being strung out on dope, right? You ain't got to worry about your daughter growing up and try to be a stripper, right? Read.
And the head of Christ is the Most High.
Right? This is order, right? We teaching law, right? Right? With law comes order. So even the head of Christ is the Most High, right? This is what we're setting forth in the I.S.U.P.K. for our brothers and sisters to understand, right? Read that from the top again, because I want to break down and let our brothers know what comes with being in charge, right? You can't just be in charge of somebody and not have responsibility. It doesn't mean just because you're the head of the household, that means you just go make me a sandwich. No, that's not what it means, brother. That means it comes responsibility and you have a job to that woman, right? Read.
The book of 1 Corinthians, Salakia. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Right.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So what was the responsibility of Christ? His responsibility was to come here and show every Israelite man, woman, and child what it is to live the law, right? That was his job. That was his job given to him from the Most High, right? Read that part about the head of the woman.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So you being the head of your household, it's your job to implement that law in your house and teach your wife, and it's her job to teach the children, right? That is the hierarchy of of your house, and that is ordained by the Most High. That is what the Most High commanded us to run our households. He didn't command it to be ran by our sisters, and we see the results of that. Yes, they are giving it their best. That's why we need strong Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men to be in those households. That is why the Most High made it that way. We seen it. We see it right now when it's flipped, and look what's going on in our communities. Everybody wants to be a rapper, dope boy. All our daughters want to make OnlyFans. That's the result of removing the man, and the only people you can blame is the oppressor. I don't blame our sisters for fighting by themselves. I blame the oppressor for feeding them lies. I blame the oppressor for removing that Black man out of that household. He dragged you out of that household, right? Read that from the top.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ,
Right.
and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is the Most High.
You see right there, that is law, right? That is what the Most High believes in. He don't believe in nothing else, right? He don't want the order to be twisted. He don't want the kids being in church. Nowadays, our kids are running the household. The reason why we celebrating Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's is all that is because, let's do it for the kids. That is not the way the Most High wanted to be ran. The Most High said the man is to be in charge. The reason is because the man is going to stand on all two. He's not going to base anything. He shouldn't base anything off of his feelings. And that is the way you should find a man in this world, sis. That is the way you should be looking for a man. You shouldn't be looking for a man that's all in tune with his feelings or his, what's the spirituality zodiac type signs, what they call it in their masculine spirit or some feminine masculine spirit or something I heard a sister say before when they rubbing stones together and stuff like that. None of that nonsense. Soon as he pull out Grand Rising Queen, block that man. Soon as he hit you with that, block that man, because you already know he ain't nothing but all he gonna feed you is lies.
That's right.
Because soon as you in that relationship with, after he get the goods, after he done sleep with you, and some hard times come, right? He's gonna leave you. Not a man in the I.S.U.P.K. We gonna sit here. We gonna stand 10 toes down with you. We was on the slave ships with you. We was shackled with you. We was getting hung on them trees with you, right? We ain't gonna abandon you now. That is what's being taught in this I.S.U.P.K, you know what I'm saying? Under Commander General YAHANNA.
That's right.
We teaching men how to be men and women how to be women. We teach our men how to stand 10 toes down, right? With our sisters. Let me get 1 Corinthians 14 and 34, right? Because the men in the world, it's getting scary out there. It's getting scary out there for the dating pool for both brothers and sisters, right? You can't find a strong man out there. It's hard to find a strong man. That's why I feel sad for some of our sisters. And that's why I said, 7 women will cleave to one man?
That's right.
That's why it said it happened those days, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be rare to find these type of men, right? We got that scripture.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34.
Go ahead.
Let your women keep
Right.
silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
Right. This is the law again, right? Now I'm going to have them read it again so I can break it down sentence by sentence, right? Read from the top.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. Let your women keep silence in the churches.
Right. This is saying, sisters, you have to be quiet. So churches was just an assembly of Israelites, right? This is just a gathering of Israelite men. Like, say right now we're in class, right, sis? That's not saying you can't speak, but you have to have the authority to speak, right? You have to have the get permission, like Salakia, sir, raising your hand. That's not saying you can't express or ask a question, right? That's what a lot of these Christians try to put out there, those so-called, and then so I've seen it two ways. Christians will have it over feminine in the church, or they won't have it at all. You have to be just shut up, or they'll try to beat you up in the Christian church, right? That's how you know there's no real men in the world, right? That's how you know the real men is in the I.S.U.P.K, right?
That's right.
Keep on reading.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak,
Right.
but they are commanded to be under obedience.
Right. So if we look up the definition of permitted, actually, can somebody give me the definition of permitted in the Merriam-Webster? Right. If you look at the definition, all it means is just authorized. Right. It's just saying you show the men in the in the assembly or in the church, respect. You don't just come out of your mouth like in the church and say whatever you feel, right? You just ask, hey, Salakia, sir, I feel, or can I ask a question? It's not, well, I feel, la, 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 la. It ain't. There's order when it comes here. And it's the same thing when it comes to the troopers that come in here. The troopers come in here, what? They don't come in here and say whatever they want to say. They don't come in here and overtalk the teacher. No, they say Salakia, sir. Right? Because you know what that's telling you? I understand that you know a little bit more than me, so I'm asking for a question, right? And that's how dialogue works, right? You don't just come and say whatever you want to say and say when you want to say it, right? Let me get that.
Salaki, if I may, you know, that's so heavy that you said that when we talk about churches, you know, just take the mystery off of church. It's more than it's supposed to be a school. That's what church translates to,
right?
Outside of a gathering of Israelites, it's a school,
right?
And you know, that's one of the first lessons you learn in grade school is to raise your hand if you want to, you know, if you want to speak, if you have something to add to the conversation,
right?
You know, if you have a question to ask, you know, and it's about order. We're a nation that's about order, and there's rules, you know.
Right.
So Salakia.
No, get that prophet a hand. No, that's exactly what it is. This school is. This is just all right. A good example, right? To my brothers, if you got a sister that's just arguing with you, right? Just ask her if she's in school with like a college professor or if she has a job. Ask her when you try to have a conversation to figure something out at your job or at your school with the professor. Do you overtalk him or do you raise your hand at school, right? At the oppressor school, you raise your hand there to speak. But when it's a brother, you got to overtalk. You got to raise your voice. You got to get disrespectful. When you're at the slave, it's, sir, do you need this? Or sir, do you like, but when it comes to a random brother on the street, right? It's just total disrespect, right? That's all this is saying, right? Read that.
Definition?
Yeah, the definition of permitted.
Permit, according to Merriam-Webster, as a verb.
Yep.
To consent to expressly or formally. To give leave, authorize.
Right, there you go, right there. It means to authorize. It ain't nothing to, I know in today's world, they try to overly aggressify like the words in this Bible to say, oh, he trying to control me. He trying to oppress me. The man is the oppressor. Sis, if you didn't listen to Esau and their women and start believing that feminism crap, you hate black men and you hate yourself. If you believe in feminism, you hate black and Hispanics. And that's a fact. You can't say BLM no more. You can't say Black Lives Matter if you believe in feminism, because that means you believe in the killing of hundreds of thousands of babies in that abortion clinic. If you believe in that, hundreds of thousands of black and Hispanic babies, you believe in all of that, right? Finish that scripture up for me.
But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
You see, this ain't me speaking it. This is the law, right? I'm just reading it verbatim. I'm just a man that's just trying to follow the law. So of course, if I love my sisters, I'm going to tell it to you. Hey, this is how it's done. It's an order to this household. This is how the Most High want it. You can't get mad at me for saying it. This is just how the Most High likes things ran. I didn't make Eve do nothing. This is just what's going on, right? Let me get 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11, and we're gonna do 12 too, right? Because we live in a world where they try to overmasculate the woman and emasculate the man, right? I just seen a movie the other day called The Woman King, right? And they had these small, scrawny little women. I don't know if some of them was Hamite mixed with some of the sisters, and they was tossed around these big juggernaut looking dudes. And I was like, where in the hell they was? But you can see, like, if you in the truth, you can see the agenda they trying to push on the sisters. They trying to push that all men is evil, especially the black man. They are trying to push that. I heard the Wakanda Forever was the same thing on steroids. I don't even want to see that. Go ahead, sir.
Now, Salaki, that's heavy you said that. You know, I look at that Predator movie, Prey, is pushing that same agenda.
Right.
where could nobody kill that alien that came from outer space but the sister, you know?
Right.
I mean, the entertainment that they promote to us has been weaponized against us since forever, man. You
Right.
think about the color purple, and how the
Jeez.
black man was demonized in
Right.
the color purple, man. You know, it's ridiculous, man. We talking about real oppression, and it is strategic.
Right.
Salakia.
And this is just so crazy about it. Ain't nothing new under the sun. What you think happened to Eve in the garden? Ain't no new games being played on us as a people. Our oppressor knows how to get to us. And they know it's going to be the woman, right? Right. That's why it's the job of a black man to protect that woman from all of that nonsense. Hey, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. You can go enjoy entertainment, because that's what a movie is, entertainment. But if your rib or little sister, your daughter make sure you explain to them what's going on, right? Just don't have them believing in Wakanda forever, having them doing choreography outside the damn movie theater, right? Don't have her thinking she a Hamite. Don't have her growing up thinking she finna run some man, right? Teach her how to find the proper man in the world, right? Teach her the man to look for, right? You got that scripture, I don't want.
It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 11.
They can't see that.
They can't see TD Jakes? Oh, okay.
That's what you want right now.
1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 11.
Oh, I meant to take the time I wanted on 16.
Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Keep going.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
Right. Read that from the top, brother.
No sweat. This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 1. 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Right. It says, learn in silence. Right. Because in order to learn anything, you can't be over talking them. Right. Right. The Most High is so clever when he put things like he put this book together. Right. He put it together. Then we just read that you have to be silent in the churches. Right. In order to learn anything, you have to be quiet. You can't overtalk somebody. Like when you go to class, like in a college, are you blasting music the whole time that the professor is teaching? Do you smack your food and talk while the professor is like teaching? Or do you try to actually obtain what this man is teaching? And you know what's so funny about it? I thought about this. When it comes to like anything like our oppressor do, right? We as people, we look at it like it's like so fascinating. Like let's take being a chef, working in the food, right? You go to one of their restaurants or one of their like top culinary schools, they over here making mac and cheese, something you grew up on. Grandmama made your mac and cheese the best, right? And they over here got the little flamethrower on it, all this, put a little garnish on it. Now everybody standing, oh my God, how does he do it? How does he do it? Grandma made the same damn dish with a stove that don't even work. And hers tastes better. But that whole time that chef over there doing his little artistry with the food, we are quiet, fascinated. Let the man work, like observing him do his thing. But when it comes to when any man in I.S.U.P.K doing his thing or speaking or trying to teach you, I'm gonna overtalk him. Nah, he need to hear my point. It's just crazy how we just try to push these things in the world, right? You got that video?
No, yeah, it's not.
Let me get that verse from the top again.
Come on. This is 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Right.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
Start right there. You see? This is for all those sisters that think they try to become a pastor or they become some type of goddess, or now they do the tarot cards. I've seen several sisters I grew up with. Now they supposedly like reading, I think they read palms, right? That's what the tarot, whatever that is. They supposed to be like a healer or something. The Most High said you're not supposed to be teaching anything. You're here to learn, right? He doesn't want you in those roles. It's not hard to comprehend, right? He doesn't want emotion in it. He wants, go ahead.
Now, what you bring us heavy too is like when you bring the scriptures out, I know a lot of women, especially in my old church, the female pastor, whatever the hell that is, when she won't even read this. And then they always say, wait a minute now. Well, it's not saying women can't teach anything.
Right.
This is Paul, this is these are letters written. You're talking about teaching the word of God. You're not talking about teaching, teaching a math. We have plenty of teachers that are females, great teachers.
Right.
We know that women do excellent work, especially with whatever they put their hand to do. When it comes to reading this Bible, breaking these scriptures down, it's not a woman's job to do that. That's what it's talking about when it says, a woman can't teach. It's not saying she can't teach anything. And that's important to let the women know that, because they really get offended and take this out of context when clearly is not talking about that. And the Most High is not off confusion. It can teach many things, but not this Bible.
Right.
It's for men to do.
Throughout for that. Yeah, this Bible is not to misconstrue. No, we have excellent sister teachers. I prefer sometimes I prefer my children to be taught by sisters, because they show compassion when it comes to teaching our kids, right? You ever seen those oppressor teachers? Sometimes they be beating the kids and all types of nonsense. And our sisters they make them little rhymes for the kids to remember their ABCs or whatever they do. You ever seen those on TikTok or Instagram? Those are our sisters. They do magnificent things when it comes to that, right? But when it comes to this Bible, sis, this isn't for you. This is for the man to teach.
That's right.
Right. That's right. Right here is a good example of the Christian church doing exactly what the Christian church does, right? The whole opposite of what the Bible is. This is T.D. Jakes, right? He ordained his daughter, right, to be or take his place. First off, you know anything about the Bible, the firstborn is supposed to inherit. The firstborn son is supposed to inherit what the father has. That's one point that he already got with the Most High. He messed up with the Most High, right? The second is you're telling your daughter she can teach the Bible, right? And you got to see how he plays it. He's trying to appease the women in the church. That's how you know the people in the church are mostly women, right? Let me see the clip.
I'm gonna mute you.
All right.
It is not by DNA. It is not by birth order. It is not by favoritism or nepotism. If I did not know that the hand of the Lord was on you, I would never do this. As Samuel's horn of oil anointed David, I so anoint you. And with every drop of oil that falls upon your head, may the strength and the power of the Almighty God rest upon you, rest upon your life, rest upon your life. You want me? Oh. Rest upon your life. I want every woman in this room to lift up your hands and receive the anointing of God. Because
There. That's entertainment right there. Knocked her out. And soon as that happened, what happened? He said, he turned it from his daughter and he said, to all the women out there, this is to empower you too, right? Whatever you're going through, I give you the same power. Now this man got the jazz hands sprinkling fairy dust on the whole crowd. This is the Christian church. This is what America pushes on our people. This entertainment. This is entertainment. It's funny as hell. Nobody in this room could have just laughed from that dumb nonsense. Right? Let me get that scripture from the top, bro.
It's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11.
Right. We're gonna point out where he messed up, right? Since he's so ordained and the horn of what he said, Samuel. Horn of oil is like he anointed, and then he disrespectful to, oh my God, he disrespectful. Go ahead.
Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Right.
Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach,
right there,
nor to usurp authority over the man.
Do you know what usurp means? Usurp means to take by force, right? It means don't you aren't to take. Well, a good example is how sisters try to use the children as a weapon in the household. That's you trying to take authority from that man. Well, if that man weak or not, he gonna go ahead, sir.
No, Salaki, that's crazy. You said the horn of David. I had to just Google that real quick. And it says the raised horn is a common biblical symbol of victory, especially of being rescued from oppression.
Sheesh.
So now he's authorized her to take authority over men. And that's oppressive in the eyes of a woman that's raised in America.
Right.
That's raised with, the liberation that America pushes through feminism.
Right.
Salakia.
No, he totally right. Imagine what is that going to do to the sister's mind now? Just corrupt it. Yeah, that the whole whatever he said was running for 30 years, thou art loose. That was his slogan or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the end of it, I believe he said. Yeah, I don't understand it. Where this is like plain in sight, but I guess to our brothers and sisters in the world, they still fall for it so easily. Right. But right now, as you can see, we in a time of awakening with Kyrie, Ye, all that. It's just coming out in like spurts, though, right? It comes out in spurts and in like dumb ways, right? Because Kanye said, but he don't want to say it all the way. He like, yeah, I'm black, but them Africans, yeah, they Israelites too. Yeah. Them Esau, they can be Israelites too, Kyrie. Like, I'm not Kyrie over there, understand? I'm not saying they're not Israelites, right, but I'm just saying I'm an Israelite too. No, if you're gonna step in it, you're gonna have to step all the way in it. Right. And that's why you shouldn't fall for these entertainers. That's what really irritates me about how we fall for these entertainers. They got a little bit of money. They say something small and petty, and we think of it as like Jay-Z. Yeah. Mike Tyson, especially Mike Tyson. I can't stand him. He say something, they put it in gray and slow motion, and they make it seem like it's so poetic and it made sense. Right. It don't make not one guy. It don't make nothing. It don't make no sense. Not a lick of sense. Right? Let's finish that off. Go ahead.
I think their real irritation is that Kanye and Kyrie, they got that from them so-called black Hebrew Israelites.
Right. I feel like they
people
just
are actually listening to them.
Right. That really does show you that people are actually listening too. Right. Let me get Ephesians 5:22. Right, because tonight is the law class, and what we just showed was Chidi Jakes breaking like 3 laws just in that 1-minute clip. That should show you the Christian church ain't nothing but a whole bunch of fallacy and lies. Right. They not built on nothing concrete. Nothing structural holds up the Christian church, which is why it fell when COVID happened. Right, they closed their doors because they knew they couldn't stand through it. Right. But I.S.U.P.K, shit. I think I joined during that COVID time, and the brothers was 10 toes down, looking stronger than ever. And that's what the Most High is trying to bring into light. He's trying to show us these things, right? How weak the church is. And this is the thing that's been so-called holding the black and Hispanic communities up, the Catholic and the Christian church. Right. They on every corner. I know when I was in Philly, now I see a whole bunch of abandoned churches down the whole block. They are boarded up. That's the Most High. If the Most High was with the Christian church, why are so many of their churches closing? If the Most High is with the Christian church, why did old dude get robbed at gunpoint on camera? The Most High want to embarrass his priests and prophets? Is that what he wants you to look weak? That ain't my God. My God told me to look as masculine as possible. Go ahead, sir.
That's heavy too, because like I said, right around here, where we're sitting at, man, it's like at least 20 churches within like 2 to 5 mile radius, and I'm telling you right now, more than half, maybe like 3 of them are functional. I mean, people are they have information at their fingertips. These cell phones are like mini computers. They can look up these scriptures, they can look up the facts, the history, and people don't feel safe in church.
Right.
Living store roof, walking in there shooting people. You got, pastors not being able to answer questions about who we are. The church is losing money. They're losing members. And now the church is filled with women. I mean, just look at that video that you just brought up.
Oh,
that pastor got robbed in New York.
Yeah.
Whitehead, I think his name is, with all the Gucci suits and all that. Mm-hmm. If you look at the view of the camera, all the people in there were women. His whole congregation was black women. There was like no men in there except for one gay dude on the piano. But you're right. The church is starting to lose members because people don't want to hear that crap anymore.
Right.
People need answers and need help. They're tired of this nonsense. You're right, brother.
And that's why we need to start. That's why we need to continue pushing this truth stronger than ever, because our people are actually crying out for answers at this point. Right. They're crying out for answers. You can just see it in the two celebrities that came out talking about they Israelites. They got a taste of the truth. They probably seen one clip and then turned it off. Like, oh, I'm a Jew. Did a little bit of research. They never come to class though. Right. And you see it being displayed. But what's really going to start coming out now is because since these entertainers are starting to say it, because other entertainers started to say it too, and starting to say they're going to stand with Ye, is Esau starting to show that true face. Right? The mask is going to come off from Esau. He's going to show you how monstrous he could be. Right? How evil and tricky he can be. How much of a devil he really could be. Right? You got that Ephesians?
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
Right? Just like you, to our sisters that's really good at like the career they're in, like say you're a nurse or something like they say you don't want any children or any man like that. Just like you dedicate your life and your time to that career, and you would say yes sir and no sir to that boss at your job. That's how you're supposed to be in the household, whether you making most of the money or not. Right. Your job, your first job, just like to the men of the I.S.U.P.K, your first job is the truth. Your first wife is the truth. So to that woman, your first job, or Salakia, your second job after the Most High is your husband, right? Because that's the law. If you love the Most High, you're going to follow the law, right?
Verse 23.
No, read that from the top.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
Right? Think about it like this. When you know how they say happy wife, happy life? Right. Think about like when your husband, righteous husband, right? I gotta be more specific when it comes to teaching, because I know a lot of our sisters in the world are going through a lot with these men in the world, right? Got dope heads and women like he beat. Listen, when you got a righteous man and you want peace in your household, you know how to bring that peace when he come home from camp, right? Make sure you got a fresh pair of clean clothes or something, or a pair of warm socks for the man when he come home from warring at camp, right? And guess what happens? That man will make, baby, you want those that Birkin bag I seen, that YSL perfume, I got some extra money, I'll have you. he said, don't even put that. He said, we ain't doing that now. But he said, but yeah, that man will make sure you the flyest and you protected. He'll make sure your children are protected. He won't have you out here looking crazy. He won't have you out here unprotected. Because you know why? Right? Say you warring with your man. This is what our sisters do. They like to say, you ain't ish, you ain't this and that. But let another man threaten them, right? Threaten them, or like it looks like they threatening them. The first person they're gonna call is you. Why? Because naturally you want a man to protect you. And that's why the Most High has a man on top of you. He ain't put you on top of you if he was gonna be weaker than you. That don't make no sense. Right. What kind of leader is weak? Yahweh Shah not weak. Right. And I know Esau portrays him like our oppressors portray him like that. Please, sis, don't get it confused. That man was the strongest of us. Right? Let me get Ecclesiastes. Oh, go ahead.
When you broke down on 5, that word submit, I got the definition. The word submit means to yield to governance or authority.
Right.
To subject to a condition, treatment, or operation. That's heavy because that submitting is her yielding to your authority.
Right.
Like you can't beat it out of her. You can't do like Blueface do and be smacking Krishan all across the head and try to make her stop texting another Negro.
Right.
She has to yield to your authority. And that's not a physical thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not by violence, it's not. And that's heavy scripture you brought out, brother.
No, that's heavy what you brought out, because I know in the world, well, especially nowadays, because we got these so-called what they call them, high value men. Yeah. That's what they believe in. Says don't fall for that trickery either. Don't fall for that nonsense. Yeah, he might seem masculine at first, but let something fly out your mouth wrong. Let you be on your flower and you got a little attitude, and he throwing fists. He throwing fists. That's not a strong man. If a man can't fight battles without his words, especially when it comes to his woman, without his fists, especially when it comes to his rib, he's a weak man. Because all he know, that's like a baby, right? He's throwing a tantrum. They start tearing stuff up. That's what a child does. I understand, yeah, you don't like the nagging, and then he just throws a fist at you. That is what a child does. That's not what a man does. Don't let that make you feel like he's doing the right thing. Hell no, sister. I.S.U.P.K, we don't stand on none of that. Right? Let me get Ecclesiastes 7:26. Right? Because in I.S.U.P.K, we follow the law. The law is life, if you really look at it. Most High say, don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster. My blood pressure is low. Especially since I'm a young boy, so they running my family. At this age, my folks be balding at this age, first off, if we really go talk about it. But no, my folks, they got high blood pressure and heart problems, usually around this age. I'm healthy as an ox, just thanks to these brothers that brought me in. Right? Most High been with me since I joined. You can't tell me no different. I'm still here. That's right. Most of the brothers got similar stories about street life, just family stuff. That's just from following the law. Sisters too. Right. And it's beautiful. You got that?
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
What they said, let me break it down. Let me get it from the top.
Verse 26, and I find more bitter than death.
Right, that sounds crazy, right? More bitter than death. That's something more worse than death, right? Keep going.
The woman. Right? What kind of woman? Keep going. Not just anyone. We don't hate women in I.S.U.P.K. I don't want y'all feeling like, oh, he don't. Nah, you got to keep going. Whose heart
right
is snares and nets.
Whose mind, right? Because in I.S.U.P.K. we teach you what heart means in the Bible. It's your mind, right? That's right. You know what that means? I don't know. She was a sister or not. The one that trapped the young basketball player. Brittany. I know it's Brittany. Brittany Renner, but what? You know, the Instagram thing. Yeah, whatever her name is. That's a sister whose heart is traps and snares. Because you know why? She seen a brother, right? She seen a brother, and all she thought was, how can I get that paycheck? Let me set this trap for him. That's what it means. Her heart is traps and snares. When you see your brother and say, all I want is his kids so I can get the paycheck. I don't want to build with this man. I just want him to build, and I just sit down, relax. I want to tear this man down. Or you get bitter because he get another rib, try to tear him down, right? Go ahead, sir.
And that's true too, because some women emotionally abuse men,
Right.
like with their mouth and by their tactics, because they get off on it. And some of them have like father issues and the psychology behind why. And men do it too, but some women, this scripture talking about the women, just really bully and beat up on a man, or will have affairs on him and then blame him,
Right.
and can repeat this cycle of really just psychologically tearing down this man. And in turn, it makes her feel powerful and in control.
Right.
And she still goes and cheats and sleeps around on him. That's like a snare in the net. Like she gets off by usurping this authority and taking advantage of this man and just breaking them down, emotionally and psychologically. It's terrible. I see it all the time online and in my old workspaces.
Right. And it's really getting crazy nowadays because brothers are advocating for sisters to do this type of stuff to their own brothers. They were like, sis, you had to get out of a relationship. He wasn't home enough for you. Some nonsense like that. When the brother says stuff like that, that's how you know he ain't no good, and he only got one thing on his mind, sis. He ain't here for your betterment in life. He just want the punani, right? We can say that. I don't know if that's illegal, but we're gonna see when I get checked. Right? Let me finish that scripture. This is crazy.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets,
right,
and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her.
Stop right there, right? This is who pleases the Most High. You know who that is? The men of the I.S.U.P.K. Right. You know what that means, though? When you come in here, you learn the truth and you start applying it to your life, you won't fall for those Brittany, whatever her name is. You see this first sign and you'll get the hell out of Dodge. Right. You won't impregnate a dragon. You won't fall for those tricks. You won't fall for that. That's somebody who obeys the Most High. That's what this part is saying. Go ahead, keep reading. But there's a certain type of man that will fall for her tricks, right? These tricks ain't hard to see. It's plain in sight if you in here, right? Keep going.
But the sinner shall be taken by her.
The sinner. That's this Salaki. Read that from the top.
Come on.
I mean the sinner.
Okay. Salaki. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
Right? This is you when you fall into your lust as a man in the world. You see her, yeah, of course, her sister's got the curves and all that, and she might talk real nice to you that one day or one night at the bar. You might got a little bit of too much liquor in you. And now what? You done came home with her. It's a couple of scenarios that can happen. What? You can be set up, right? Some dudes running there, jam you. Now you walking home naked. Lost your Rolex and all. Or you can walk out the crib with all types of diseases on you. And now you got monkeypox or whatever. Right. Because you don't know if her baby dad is bi or whatever they got going out now. And then I call this the worst. You can have her as a baby mama, and now you trapped with her for life. Now you got to deal with that nonsense at court. I don't know if I don't want to say that because I know everybody in here either experienced it or knows a brother that is battling in court with a dragon of a baby mama that's trying to take every cent from this man, trying to destroy his life with the kids, trying to send him to jail. Right, go ahead.
And you're right too. And now the laws is so that if you sign that birth certificate, that baby don't even have to be yours. You still got to pay child support. I know a few brothers right now paying child support for a child that's not even theirs. And a woman will not take them off child support. She's so evil. She's like, nope, run me my money.
Right.
Because you acting like their father. He's like, but it's not my baby. I took a DNA test. It's not mine.
Right.
But he signed the birth certificate, so he's paying for a child. It's not his, and she still won't relinquish that money.
That right
And
there
that's
should scare the
crazy.
hell out of you.
Right. That's what type of bands we're talking about. You know what I
Right.
mean? The scripture is so heavy. But all women aren't like that. But this type of woman that the Bible's telling us to beware about is.
Right. This is the woman you supposed to stay away from.
That's right.
Right. So I'm tired of talking about the negative sisters in the world, right? It's time to speak about like the positivity in our nation, right? Let's get Proverbs 31:10, right? Show you what a sister's supposed to be, right? And can I get that picture of that ruby?
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, and verse 10.
Right.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Right. Who can find this woman? This woman is. You ever seen one of them treasure hunting movies? Like, ooh, where can I find the treasure? You got a whole map to find it. Right. Keep going.
For her price is far above rubies.
Right. You got that. So I got a screenshot of a perfect ruby, right? And I'm gonna put this in an analogy, right? Because it tells you the price and how rubies are determined, how much they cost, right? Rubies, depending on how they're treated, like the treatment they go through, determines the price of the ruby, because the ruby has to go through extensive treatments, determines the value of it, right? So we're going to compare the treatment of the ruby to the upbringing of a sister, right? And it determines the value of the sister, right? Let's see. It was a joint that was like $1 million. $1 million for 1 carat. I think it's that one, is it?
This one? Hold on a second.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, so these rubies have to go through a certain treatment. So let's compare it to our sisters, right? Say a sister upbringing in the world. Let's give her the worst scenario, right? No father in the household is the worst scenario I can give a sister, right? Okay, that should work. Right? Can you see that? I don't want, or can somebody read it for me? Yeah, can you read it? Let me see.
I'll read it from the top.
Right.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
So we about to see this ruby that's $1 million a carat. A carat is 200 milligrams, right? That's pretty small. And for that pretty small ruby, it's $1 million. So if a sister's value is far above rubies, or a virtuous sister is far above rubies, I mean, she's priceless. That sister is priceless. I mean, you can't get better than that in this world. It's hard to find. Then they say Solomon said, I found none. She's a rare sister. That's cool. We don't need it. Right? Let me get
Maybe verse 11. Or?
Yeah, let's just do verse 11.
Proverbs 31 and verse 11. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
Just think of the most bomb chick you ever had in your life, but she's in the truth. She provide everything for you. She makes sure you straight. Like soon as you come in the crib, your slippers have been under the heater. Your underwear folded in that triangle like shape that you like or whatever. Yo, baked cookies is in the oven or whatever the man is into. She just made sure everything is straight. And you come home and she ain't trying to just bark your head off. And she appreciates you. Because she understands. You know that sister, that thing that sister has? she understands that we're living in a world that don't love none of us. That we both niggas here. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, read it, sir.
Yeah. All right. This is according to the International Gem Society. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Ruby value, price, and jewelry information. One of the most popular traditional jewelry stones,
Right.
ruby is exceptionally durable. The colors of the July birthstone, always red, can reach vivid levels of saturation. Fine quality rubies are some of the most expensive gemstones, with record ruby prices over $1 million per carat.
You see that?
However,
Go ahead.
so lock in.
No, go ahead. Finish it off.
However, rubies are also subjected to more treatments than almost any other gem.
Right.
For this reason, ruby prices can range from a few $100s a carat to thousands of dollars per carat.
So you can have a sister that ain't worth nothing, or you can have a virtuous sister that followed the law of the Most High. Right? And it said durable. I want to point that out. That mean that sister won't bend, break, or fold for you. You got a what they call it in the streets, or you got a ride or die, a Bonnie and Clyde. She ride just for you. Right? What was that?
Verse 11.
Yeah, read that again from the top.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
It's worth more than $1 million a carat, sis. Go ahead.
Verse 11. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
Right? This is a sis. It's hard to find in this world. I can't think of a man that even speak like this today. Go ahead.
I know. So part of the problem is a lot of sisters, they either claim to be Proverbs 31 woman. I'm a virtuous woman, but they in the same breath I often see on Facebook or Instagram about it's like this tug of war thing, like you first. It's like I'm not doing all that unless he does this.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not gonna fold his socks, so I'm not gonna cook. I'm not gonna do this unless he does this. It's like they're waiting for this man to be all these great things in order for them to be this thing.
Right.
And then it's like it's only a contingency. It's like why don't you just be that? Because the Most High God requires that of you first. Just be that thing. Yeah. Because if men, how we are, it's like she does this repeatedly. How can I even yell at something so soft and precious?
Right.
I don't even want to. Even if you make me mad, I'm on a road or I'm out somewhere and I come home and this stuff is done. Whatever the hell I was mad about, or I could have, I just gave you the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Now I'm not mad at you anymore. Now I start to like you. Women always want to say, do you love me? You don't like me. No, I don't like you. Why should I like you when you're doing all these things that I said not to do?
Right.
You purposely don't want to be liked because it's a struggle of power. Just be this Proverbs 3:31 woman. If sometimes your softness, your femininity, your kindness win that man over.
Right.
So maybe he won't be a Grinch to you anymore through your kindness. But women are stubborn. They think it's cute. And then you got all these years and days of arguing. And I'm not doing that for no nigga that's not going to do this.
Right.
Just be that. And your kindness can win him over. Just like a man being soft and gentle to you, telling he's proud of you and you look pretty today. A lot of women don't get compliments because you're a monster. You vex him daily, so he's not going to tell you your hair looks good or you look pretty because you constantly running your damn mouth for vexing him some way. Just be that 31, and guess what? Over time, he's going to be kind to you.
Right.
All men are like this. I've seen it happen before. Go ahead. I'm slacking.
Nah, it's heavy what you saying. Get that out of the head, man. He gonna come in the house mad as hell. Gonna see. Oh damn! I can't even. I can't even. God damn! I love you, baby. Right.
It's like you might get that thing you put in your cart on Amazon. You got a cart full of stuff on Amazon. I ain't buying none of it. You're a monster. Don't even show me that card. I don't want to see it, but you kindness, I might go ahead and just swipe that card. Whatever in the card you're going to get because you've been so kind.
Right.
How can I say no to you when I know I've been a monster?
Right.
But you still yet fixing my plate. You still folded this one. How can I say no? But all this you first, that crap got to stop.
Right.
Because your head ain't harder than no Negro head.
Right. Let me get Matthew's 5 and 10, right? The reason why our sisters are able to be bamboozled is because we know what they tell our sisters, that this law has been done away with, right? That we don't believe in the traditions that our forefathers and foremothers had to do. That we don't believe in what our sisters had to go through in this Bible, which like we don't believe that it's true no more, because what TD Jakes said, it's a new, what he called that clip evolved. Like this word evolved to something, like something changed from this. This was the reason why Christ came back. He knew a TD Jakes was gonna come on and say this law is done away with. He knew he was gonna say, "Woman, thou art loose." He knew that nonsense was gonna go on in the world. Let me get that scripture when you got it.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 10. Blessed are they.
No, verse 17. I don't want.
Oh, 5 and 17. Slakia. Verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Now let me get this straight. This written in red, right?
Khan.
So this is Yahweh, or what the world would call Christ, right? Christ is speaking, right? Read that from the top again.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Stop right there. So sisters, I don't care what your pastor said in that, what's those things they have, those therapy sessions that they try to have with you and your wife. I don't counsel, marriage counseling, what the pastor says, saying your husband needs to do all of this for you and you do nothing. He's supposed to love, worship your feet. The Bible goes against that. I'm sorry. I know it feels bad. But the Bible goes against a man just worshiping a man just worshiping the woman's feet, right? Worshiping her, right? Because the man is the house, is the head, right? That's the law, right? And Christ said it. This is the New Testament for all my Christians that say the New Testament done away with. This is Christ saying it in the New Testament, right? Read.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Can I get the definition of fulfill? And to go off what the brother just read, Christ is saying he didn't come to destroy nothing the prophets set in place. He didn't come to destroy the law. He didn't disagree with nothing the prophets or Moses said. He basically here just said, I agree with everything that they said and did. But you got the definition?
This is the Merriam-Webster definition of fulfill.
Give it to me.
To put into effect.
Ooh.
To execute.
Right. So he just executed, especially the order from the Most High. The Most High ordered him to come down and show us how to live the law, and he did. So he didn't come here down the cross so the law could be done away with. He came here to show you how it's done. You ever heard like, watch how I do it, right? I think my brother brought it out the other day. He said, when it comes to Negroes and Hispanics, we like to see it done. We like to see the stuff done. You can't just tell me something. So that's what Yahweh did. He said, okay, you tired? All right, I'm going to come here and show you how to live it then. And what he did, he showed us. And he died for you, right? Let me get Matthew 5 and 18. Keep going.
Book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 18. For verily I say unto you,
for truly,
till heaven and earth pass,
right,
one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Right, read it from the top. I'm going to break it down line by line.
Verse 18. For verily I say unto you.
So he's saying, for truly I say unto you. This is how Negroes and Hispanics talk, right?
Till heaven and earth pass.
Right, till the earth and the heavens, the skies above are gone, no more, right? Keep going.
One jot or one tittle.
One dotting of an I or crossing of a T, right?
Shall in no wise pass from the law.
So in no wise, you know what that means? Shall never, go ahead.
Pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
This law isn't going anywhere. This law is never going to be done away with. This is set in more than just stone. This is some stone that can't be eroded away. This law is going to be here forever. It's going to be here when I die. It's going to be here when everybody in this room is gone, pushing flowers. This law is going to be here forever, even when the kingdom come. This law is still going to be in effect. So this goes against what T.D. Jakes just said to his daughter, or did with his daughter. That's how you know the Christian church is totally against the Most High. They just demonstrated the exact opposite. And this is why the Bible says the Antichrist. Anti meaning what? Total opposite of what Christ was standing for. You think Christ would have been sitting there in the pulpit with T.D. Jakes talking about, I'm proud of you, brother. You think he would have been standing there looking at him with so much like he was proud of that man? Right. What he said he was doing in the temple, he was whipping backs, flipping tables. That's what Christ would have been doing again. Christ wasn't no softy, man. Right? Let me get 19.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments,
right,
and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Let me get it from the top, line by line.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Right, the least commandments meaning the smallest commandments. Like, I want to say none of the commandments are small because you need to follow all them laws. I'm trying to be like G-rated over here. I'm trying not to curse. It's hard. Eat pork, right? That's something you would consider small. For real. Our people love that. But eating pork, the least commandment, right? Something so menial, like something easy. You can if you weak as hell. All right, anyway, continue with that.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments,
right? If you break these, go ahead.
And shall teach men so.
Shall teach men so. So this is essentially T.D. Jakes, right? This is how poetical and how smooth the Most High is, and that's how you know, man. He put it inside of. That's how you know blacks and Hispanics are Israel, because think about how smooth this is, man, and how it coincides with how we are, right? We just seen T.D. Jakes. He teaching us what the woman is going to teach the church. Right. We're gonna have to finish it so I can say what I want to say. But you got something to say, sir?
No, you're right about that. It ain't just T.D. Jakes. He's one of millions, even as entertainers. You got Medea, Tyler Perry. Man. He put that dress on. He get to preaching and prophesying and dropping scripture, and the whole audience is agreeing with him. He's teaching them to go against God. And our entertainers do it all the time,
right?
Through their music, through their influence. Some of these blackity black leaders who claim to have these mass speakings, and they put on Facebook and YouTube, and and all these entertainers do it. All the pastors, Pastor John Gray, Shirley Caesar, all of them. You can't leave. I get what you're saying, and it's so heavy. You bring that out too, because they are teaching men and women to go against God. Every last one of them are.
Right.
That's it.
So what's the brother? I don't know if he's a brother or not, but the dude that's supposed to be he like the next Malcolm X and that Muslim stuff with the bow tie and stuff. He wear the glasses. Is that his name? I don't know if he's tall or not. He looked goofy as hell with that damn bow tie on, but yeah, our people falling into that Islam mess again because they seeing that Christianity ain't working. So this just shows you that we grasping for air right now. Like we was relying on the Christian church so much that they falling back into these other beliefs, trying to find structure. Watch, you go into Islam. What happened to Malcolm X? He fell out of it because what? He started not believing or going into his own thing because what? He's seen that the leader of that was what? Molesting or raping women, little girls, right? You're not going to find that in the I.S.U.P.K. We don't go through those trials and tribulations here. Like we stand on what the Most High said, and if you don't stand on it, you are getting put out. You are not a part of us, right? Continue with that.
Verse 19. He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
So those pastors, those entertainers, right? Those what they call them, those political speakers, or whatever you want to call them, they're going to be called the least in the kingdom of heaven, because you know why? Because they brought their people down. They're turncoats. They're traitors. You know what's so crazy? When it comes to Russians and Esau, right? Basically Esau, or like say Moab, or I gotta start speaking so people understand in the world. The Chinese. So let them be a turncoat. Let them speak against their tradition, which they would never, especially them Chinese, right? I don't know if y'all seen that movie Boogie. I think it's called Boogie, where the Asian dude played ball and he was in like New York. They made sure to put their traditions in that movie. Even though he tried to date a sister, he tried to be like the brothers and be a part of our culture. They made sure to involve, like they tried to make it seem like it was a battle between being a nigga and being Moab, being Chinese, whatever he was. And you know what he chose at the end? He chose to be Moab. But when it come to when you see us in the movies, we over here trying to be Ham. We over here taking up Buddhism, Islam, all types of nonsense. But when it come to other people and their cultures, they push that sticking to their people is strength. But with us, you stick to your people, you losing. You're gonna lose in life if you stick to being a black guy, a black man, right? Black woman. You want to date you want to date a black man, you ain't gonna find no value in life. That's what they push out there. Right. That's what they push to our sisters, and they also push, especially for our entertainers and our ball players and all that. They push dating Esau or dating one of these Asian women like they some grand prize, especially with the Moab and them. They make it seem like you date Moab and them, and you found some newfound wisdom. Like you got your inner chi figured out and all of that. Now you so peaceful. Now you is the wisest man because your wife is a disgusting heathen. Right? Finish that off.
But whosoever shall do and teach them,
I.S.U.P.K, right?
The same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
If you come in here and dressed in all black, boots, plants, and headband, you will be called great in the kingdom of heaven, man. Because you came in the hardest of times. You didn't come, it's crazy how you look at the spirit of things, because think about just like when you was in the world, when you just think about when you dating. I gotta keep it on topic, right? Think about when you dating. You want a girl that's been there when you was at the bottom and you built your way up, and she was there the whole ride. She rode it out with you. Or do you want a chick that just somehow just pop up when you at the top? That's how the Most High want His kingdom. He wanted you in this truth when everything was dirt. Like it's hard. These demons is out here, especially in this part of the year. That depression demon, suicide rates. When you got weed, everybody smoking weed like it's legal because everybody's smoking weed. It's normal to be just a whore, like that's okay. It's normal to be a whoremonger. It's clapped upon to be a whoremonger. It's cool to downplay your brothers and sisters like you Shaq O'Neal or what's the other brother name? Barkley. It's cool to do that because you're getting money. But it's hard to give your money, right? It's hard to give your love to your people. It's hard. Just look what they did to Kanye and Kyrie for saying that black people are special. What's the name went from $1 billion? They say he was worth $1 billion to 400. That's a lot of money. I don't care how rich you are. You're gonna feel that. Kyrie, what they make him do? They made that man pay $500,000. They got a whole list. They got a whole list, and you got to publicly apologize to a rabbi. But when the GM for the Suns, said what he said some racist remarks, like he said something about Negroes, or he's basically comparing his ball players to slaves. When he did that, what he had to do? It took a minute for it to come out. They didn't want to put it out. They want to say, well, we had to do our investigating for. How you gonna need investigation for audio recording? How the hell you gonna need an investigation for audio recording? But instead, we just gonna have to make you resign, sir. You don't gotta apologize. Just resign. You don't gotta pay no fine. Kyrie, you gotta pay a damn fine. I want you to publicly apologize to my brother Rabbi here, right? I want you to write an essay. Go ahead. I don't want.
No, I got the list right here. Salakia.
Go ahead.
6 things Kyrie Irving must do to go back to the team: apologize, condemn movie, $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training,
God.
Meet with the ADL Jewish leaders, meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding.
What's that dude name? Charleston White is his name. What he said? And you whoop him. Right? You gonna sit here and tell me that's not Toby right there again? Whoop. Oh, you gonna tell your people the truth? Oh yeah, we gotta show you. We gotta show y'all. Go ahead.
What would be a wonderful moment if he met with the Jewish leaders and he showed up with the leadership from I.S.U.P.K.
Get out. You know what they call that? And that's when you put that Uno reverse card on the damn table. It's out. You hit it with that spades. So, they be in that joint, mouth drop to the floor. Nah. We're at. They over here buck breaking our brothers in front of us. And then you could tell who's being paid off, really. Because it's the higher up entertainers, because it's the low of us that's like cheering for them, like, oh, we agree with y'all. It's a whole thing on social media. We stand with Ye, we stand with Kyrie. But it's the high of us that's saying, I don't stand with Kyrie. He's totally wrong. They need to do more to him. What in the hell? That is your brother. You ain't here when Trump said whatever nonsense, all the nonsense he was saying. Ain't nobody said, man, we need to make sure we tear this man. You ain't see Esau say none of that. They gave that man the presidency. But when it comes to your brother, you got to take $500,000 from him because he said the truth. Because he ain't lied to you for once. You had somebody that didn't lie to you and say whatever. At first, I thought he was gonna stand on his 10 toes, man. I thought he was gonna be like, man, I don't know what you want me to do. Then I heard him fold like butter, man. That was disappointing. Let me get Matthew 19 and 17.
This book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good?
Right, this is Christ speaking, right? This is he asked him a question, right? He asked Christ the question. Keep going.
There is none good but one, that's the Most High.
Right, Christ is answering a question. He's saying, or he's not answering the question. He's actually like, why are you calling me good? Right, I'm not sugar honey iced tea. Right, I'm nothing. It's just like when a brother in here says, when you give gratitude, like you try to up a brother, right? You try to tell him he did something great. And you know what he's going to tell you in here? Most High in Christ.
That's right.
Because without the Most High, he wouldn't have done it. Because who gave Christ the order to be so, when he said good? Who gave Christ the authority to even be who he was? Who gave him the power to do what he did?
Right.
The Most High. He said there's only one good. Right? Keep going.
But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
If you want to live, man, come into the school, ask what you're going to ask. Raise your hand. Say Salakia or whatever. Ask what you're going to ask. And get the knowledge from this Bible. Don't continue to live your life on the edge like Esau. Don't continue to live your life on the edge, not knowing whether the next blunt you smoke is going to be laced with fentanyl and you're going to fall and never wake up. Don't live your life on the edge where the next bag you sell is going to be a detective and you spending 10 years of your life in jail. Don't live your life on the edge like that no more. Come in here and learn the truth and come into life. Because the I.S.U.P.K, we going to teach you selling that dope isn't worth giving up your life.
Right.
Selling that dope, feeding your family for that one day or that one bag of dope, right? Because most brothers will come in here, because if you ask any brother that sell dope, he say, I'm trying to feed his family, right? Don't let the world fool you by saying black people just love being criminals. That's what they try to push. We just love committing crimes. No, it's what happened when poverty hits a people.
Right.
It's what they call it. Psychologists will tell you that. Right? Continue.
Verse Slakia. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Right.
He saith unto him, which Yahushua said, thou shalt not do murder. Slakia. Thou shalt do no murder.
Right.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Right. That's just jotting down some of the many sins that our people commit. Right? Murder, sleeping with another man's wife. Right? You shouldn't do none of those things. I don't care what America says. I don't care if America says, well, they do say that. They say this, or they push this in an R&B song, sleeping with another man's wife. They push it like it's cool. They think it's cool to sleep with somebody else's wife, which is just nasty to me. That don't even make sense, right? Let me get 1 John 2:3, right? This is the spirit of America, to go against the Most High's law, to teach our women to be against the black and Hispanic man, to teach our children to be what they call it, any gender, whatever genders they got. I don't know what they call them anymore. Right. To teach our children to sell dope, to teach them to smoke dope. I literally don't know any friend in the world anymore that don't smoke weed.
Right.
It's sad. You got something, sis? Oh, the door? Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't, it's sad. I go home and I don't know nobody that don't smoke weed. Our people is literally living in a slumber right now.
Right.
If you really have to smoke before you eat, smoke before you do anything, you are an addict and you have a problem. I know nobody will tell you that, but you have an issue. You cannot smoke your problems away. Rent is still going to be due on the 1st.
Right.
Baby mama still will request that child support. She is still going to be the devil she claimed to be, right? You got that scripture?
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
Right. So I'm going to get this to Big Mama and them that say, Jesus know my heart. Actually, read it from the top so I can break it down properly.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him.
Right. This is saying this. Compare this to like everybody that's in the Christian church, or I don't even got to say that no more. We can compare it to the random niggas on the street. I know God. He know me. He gonna forgive me. Or the cartel. They say they worship God in the Catholic Church, right? They put these saints up or whatever, and they go say they sins or whatever, and they go back and sell several kilos of coke, right? That's them saying he knows me, right? Keep going.
If we keep his commandments.
Right? In order for you to really know the Most High, you have to keep those commandments.
Right.
You can't just say you know him. You can't just go talk to some random man that puts on that white collar, whatever they call that, and confess whatever you've done in the world and just walk out there and do it again. That's insanity.
Right.
The Most High is looking at you like you is the most stupid person. Like that is stupid.
Right.
You're going to keep running into the brick wall. Come back to me and say, I ran into a brick wall, and go back and run into the brick wall. That's what the Most High is looking at it like. You are one stupid. And then you know what you're going to do? What happened when I send your punishment? You're going to cry about it. You're going to be like, why my wife get shot when I wasn't in the car? It should have been me, because I was busy making a bag, selling a bag. Why she had to be the one to catch the bullet?
Right.
Why my daughter had to be the one to catch the bullet? It's because the way you living in life ain't right. You can't cry to the Most High when he sends his judgment.
That's right.
That's what he's saying. That's what Christ is saying here. In order for you to be in life, you have to follow the law, man. You can't break the law and think you're going to get away with it.
That's right.
Because the Most High, he's going to have a little bit of, we're going to get into the grace, but he's going to have that grace for you. But just like any father, he got patience, and it's where it's thin sometimes, right? And he got to show you who he really is sometimes, right?
Verse 4.
Yeah, keep going.
Verse 4. He that saith, I know him,
Right,
and keepeth not his commandments,
right.
is a liar.
These is them brothers and sisters that suffer from this street violence, right? Who sell these drugs. I just want to focus on them right now, because these brothers and sisters out here that think that selling drugs is so like cool, and that the gun violence that goes around them has nothing to do with them, right? I seen the show Snowfall, right? And I kind of like how they play it, because the main character, right, he sells crack. He's like literally the first person to introduce crack into his neighborhood. And then he starts to realize, like, he's I think in the end of season 2 or something like that, he sees the ramifications of what crack did to his neighborhood. And you know what happened? The Most High, the woman he loved was a crackhead. And you know what happened? The woman he loved shot him in the back. You see how crazy the Most High could work? He was doing all that to his people, right? And the Most High had to punish him. So he wound up getting his woman out of his wife out of or not his wife, his girlfriend, whatever it was, out of these crack houses, embarrassing or whatever. And then he still wouldn't stop selling dope. And what happened? Most High almost crippled him. Well, now he's still selling dope. Well, it's entertainment still, but yeah, he's still alive trying to sell dope, right? And now he going through what he going through in the show, right? Continue with that.
And the truth is not in him.
The truth ain't in you if you think you can do whatever you want to do. If you claim to be a pastor, if you claim to be a prophet, and you think sleeping with somebody else's wife, you think selling as much dope as you possibly can, you're just going to get out the game.
Right.
If you think harming any of the Most High's people is cool and you're going to get away with it,
Right.
that's not what's going to happen. I know it ain't going to happen the day you sell that bag. It ain't going to be, you're going to be looking like, am I going to get struck by lightning? No, it might not happen that day. It might happen a week, 5 years, whenever the Most High say, all right, it's time I need to get him for that. He need to feel that, because I ain't like that. That might be that one you go smoke your op, and 5 years later, his cousin grown up now. He trying to spray the block up.
Right.
That's how the Most High get back at you. It's poetic how he go about things. It's crazy, right? What was that, verse 5?
Verse 5. But whoso keepeth his word,
Right, this is the minute of I.S.U.P.K. We keep the word.
in him verily is the love of the Most High perfected.
Right, we see that word verily again. It's truly. Read.
Hereby know we that we are in him.
Right. Truly, when you follow the law, the Most High is with you. You trying to figure out why the men of the I.S.U.P.K. look so glorious. You trying to figure out why nothing bad can stumble Commanding General YAHANNA. Why he ain't stumbled yet? He been around for so long. Why none of these men that keep this law and statutes, why they don't fall? They throwing everything at you. They throwing everything they can at you, right. And you can't fall because the Most High is with you. if you know anything about this Bible, you know the Most High stood with the Israelites when they was following the laws. They barely had to lift a finger when it came to fighting their battles.
Right.
Just read about Joshua. Read about how David, right? Let me get what was that? Matthew 19 and 17. Right? When the Most High is with us, it's like an unstoppable force. We already a great people. Imagine when our communities aren't flooded with dope and prostitution. Imagine when you ain't got to worry about the bills on the first.
Right.
Imagine when you ain't got to worry about Christmas or election day or whatever the hell we into now, Thanksgiving. Imagine when Big Mama leg ain't gonna get cut off because she been eating Sunday soul food or whatever the hell she been doing. Imagine that type of life. That's what the kingdom looks like. That's what following the law looks like. And that's why it says the law is life.
Right.
Not everybody with sunken in eyes because they worked 60 hours one day or 1 week trying to get their bread up. You ain't popping perks no more. You ain't got an urge to get high no more because life ain't hard. You ain't living under oppression anymore.
That's right.
Right? You got that?
You said 19 and 17?
Kind of. Yeah, 19 and 17.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good?
Oh, I was there. That's when I just.
Yeah, you was already there.
Let me get Romans 6 and 1.
No sweat. It's the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 1. What shall we say then?
Right.
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Can I get the definition of abound, Slakia? I should have asked before, but yeah, I want the definition of abound. Right? This is Paul, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He's speaking.
Abound definition.
Right?
To be present in large numbers or in great quantity.
Right.
To be prevalent.
Right. Keep that right there. Read it from the top.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin?
Shall we continue to sin against the Most High, which is a transgression of the law, right? Shall we keep smoking dope, selling our bodies, men and women? Shall we sell our children? Shall we give our children to the military? Shall we keep voting? Shall we keep doing that, right? Continue.
That grace may abound.
Right. And what was the definition of abound again?
Abound. To be present in large numbers.
So sin should be present in large numbers.
Or in great quantity. To be prevalent. To be conspicuously, Slakia, to be copiously supplied.
So sin
to be copiously supplied with.
So sin should be in great numbers, right? We should continue to sin.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
I'm saying pretty much, since to be copiously supplied with an abundance, should we continue to eat pork and celebrate Thanksgiving because we have an abundance of grace?
Right. So just because the Most High gave us grace, we should continue to eat pork? Well, he's showing you can't just continually eat pork if your leg got to get chopped off because you ate so much of it.
Right.
He's showing you can't sell all the dope you can because you got these bullets flying through your windshield. He's showing you can't be a whore because he's just sent monkeypox. He's showing you that his grace, hey man, that grace got a limit now. Can't be doing anything you want to do.
Right.
Can I get a definition of grace actually before I get to? And at the same time, can I get Romans 6 and 15? Right.
This definition of grace: unmerited divine assistance given to humans for their regeneration or sanctification, a virtue coming from God, a state of sanctification enjoyed through divine assistance, favor, a special favor or privilege, mercy or pardon.
Right. A temporary exemption, right? Like emphasis on temporary, right? Doesn't mean you just continue to get it. It doesn't mean it's gonna keep going. It doesn't mean you just keep doing it and keep doing it, and it's gonna cover you for all the days of your life, so you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Right. Go ahead.
And that's heavy too, because you know it says pardon.
Right.
And you know, when Trump was in office, he was giving presidential pardons to a lot of people. And you get a presidential pardon from prison for a crime, let's say you did commit, but you get pardoned, right?
Right.
Will you let's say I got pardoned for, I don't know, murder. So I get out of jail, I get a presidential pardon. Does that mean now that I'm free, do I go back and murder again?
No.
That don't make any sense.
Right.
It's the same thing here. It's like, if I know that celebrating Thanksgiving is wrong, and I did that thing in the past, when I come to the knowledge of Christ, coming to the truth, and I celebrate Thanksgiving again after I already been pardoned,
Right.
well, you're going to get that original sentence that was meant for you. And it's probably going to be worse.
Right.
Because that's what happens to people who, you know, get chance after chance. You finally end up dying, or you get locked away forever. That punishment is going to come get you.
Right. The Most High, man, the Most High is, when he takes his judgment, especially if you already know what's going on, man, I don't want to say, but you if you ever seen a brother that left the truth for whatever reason, he couldn't get rid of whatever demon he was fighting, he looks crazy. He looks crazy now. He might even the Most High is dealing with him in certain ways that I don't wish on no man. Right? Let me get that 15.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 15. What then shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
See, this is Paul again.
God forbid.
Right? Paul again, he's saying, so we're gonna keep sinning because we're under grace. So we have this temporary pardon, like the brother just said, we just gonna keep sinning because he let us out of jail once. We're gonna continue to do the same dumb nonsense. That's like your parent put you on punishment because you failed a test or whatever, spelling bee or whatever. Put you on punishment, but he said, I'm gonna let you off early. You can come, I'm gonna give you your Xbox back or whatever the hell these kids play nowadays. I'm gonna give you Xbox early. Just make sure you don't fail your next test or whatever. Make sure. Well, he don't even gotta say it because you already should know. Like, I ain't gonna fail that next test. Jeez, I'm trying to play the game. So you say, all right, damn, I ain't gonna study for the next test. I'm gonna go fail that test. And you gonna look at your dad when he take the Xbox again, like, what you gonna take my Xbox for? Because you failed your test again. Right. That's how we look to the Most High when we look so surprised that we facing these punishments. You didn't fail for sin again. I done gave you a chance to get it right. I didn't send the bullets the first time. I didn't let you catch AIDS the first time. And now you caught it and you mad at me? Right. I gave you a chance. Mm-hmm. How would I look if I didn't punish you? What kind of guy would I be if I didn't punish you? That's some things we got to think about as a people. Right. Let me get 1 John 3 and verse 4.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin,
right,
transgresseth also the law.
This is describing basically what sin is, right? Keep going.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law. Can I get the definition of transgression?
Uh-huh. Let's see 1 second. Transgression.
Right. This right here is telling you what sin is.
This is the definition of transgression. Slovakia, hold on. So now, an act, process, or instance of transgressing, such as infringement or violation of a law, command, or duty.
Ooh, we to Moses to give to us, right? And this is an infringement or a violation of that. You know what happens? What New Yorkers say, hey man, you violating.
Right.
That's what you're doing to the Most High. You violating the Most High when you don't follow his laws.
Right.
You disrespecting them. You disrespecting our power. And you wonder why he gives you such a I would say scary punishment. That's why they say you should fear the Most High, because his punishments is, I wouldn't want it on me.
Right.
And I wouldn't want it on my brother. And that's why we go out on Saturdays. We try to save our brothers and sisters. We try to tell them the truth. Like my brother brought out yesterday, man, when I love you, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Right.
I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna just tell you the truth, what you need to hear. The Most High didn't lead me to the truth so I can just hold it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't let Commander General YAHANNA hold on to this truth so I can just do whatever with it.
Right.
It wasn't just for me. It wasn't just for me.
Right.
It was for my people. That's the reason why we in this class, is the reason why I'm sitting in this chair, is so I can help my people. Let me get that from the top.
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 3, and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
It's the violation of the law. So when Big Mama, or I had somebody tell me that, just pray over it. When you pull the script for eating pork and shrimp,
Right.
even eating bats, right? Lobster and what's the other nonsense they eat? Squid.
Mm-hmm.
You pull that out like, hey, you shouldn't be eating this, right? And they say, man, I just pray over it. I give the analogy, hey, you gonna pray over poop? Is it not poop anymore? Is it not poop anymore? That's what I say. They whatever nonsense excuse they give you. You know what I'm saying? You still transgressing the law. I don't care if you pray or not. Oh, we just pray. Thanksgiving is about no, that's transgression the law. I don't care if you think you praying to the Most High over the turkey. Turkey is disgusting to me on Thanksgiving. I don't care if tomorrow it tastes good. Today it says disgusting. I don't want it, Grandma. Let me get we're gonna finish out with 1 John 5 and 3. Right?
It's the book of 1 John, chapter 5, and verse 3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments.
Right.
And his commandments are not grievous.
Let me get it from the top so I can break it down for him.
Verse 3. For this is the love of the Most High.
This is how you love the Most High, right? This is how you love him. It's going to tell us, right? Word for word. Go ahead.
That we keep his commandments.
You
and
keep it. Go ahead.
His commandments are not grievous.
So keeping the Most High's commandments, not eating what he told you not to eat, not sleeping what he told you not to sleep with, loving your brother.
Right.
Essentially, all it is just loving your brother, loving your sister, loving yourself. Everybody is so, I need to find myself. Finding yourself is in this Bible. This will help you find yourself. This will help you find yourself. Right? And it says it's not grievous. Let me get the definition of grievous. Actually, no, I got it right here. It just means oppressive.
Right.
The Most High ain't doing it to oppress you. His laws aren't to oppress you. It's actually to keep you alive. You actually look, if you keep these laws, let's just think of it like this. Look at the Jewish people. They are doing like a sliver of how we're supposed to operate as a people. I say a sliver. I don't even want to give them that, because what's that thing called, a mural, whatever they do, where they suck the baby, mule, something like that. Moil. Yeah, they out of there. They totally out of there, sis. But yeah, they do like the minute amount of what the Bible says, and look how much they thrive in this world. Look how rich they are. Look how successful they become. Imagine if blacks and Hispanics did it. Well, we going to do it the right way. Imagine when we do it. They try to. They were all black, right? Because they try to be like us. It says, yeah, be dressed in black or whatever, and they try to do it. They look whack. I don't know if you ever seen a troop come in here and he try to drip himself out in the all black. Just think about our people and what we do it and how we do it. They try to do the braids. They don't even look right. Them two little braids they be having with them whack. And then they got the what's that thing called? The hat, whatever. Yarmulke. Oh man. They look goofy. Trying to be like you.
Right.
They not the only ones. You ever seen how the Moab try to be like Issachar and them with the what they call them, the Vato look or whatever?
Oh yeah.
With the high waist, the high socks and the suspender shorts and all that, and they try to steal that style. They don't even look cool. They look goofy. So imagine when we in our own power, man. Everything just drippy.
Right.
Everything just drippy. Right? And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Precinct Officer Bankaya.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. It's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming Holy Convocation is the Feast of Dedication, or Hanukkah, the 25th day of the 9th month, for the span of 8 days, beginning Saturday, December 17th, for 8 days, according to the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verses 52 through 61. We also have the West Coast Cookout coming up before that, coming up December 1st through the 4th in Las Vegas. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, imagine, which means to stand. Yeah, sisters, remain seated. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the teacher. Imagine Shabbat, imagine Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah. Yada Matah, Sar, brothers turn and face the sisters. Sisters, imagine. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the sisters. Imagine Shabbat, imagine Barak, Yahweh Shemar Ataba Hashem Yahweh Shah. Most High in Christ, Yada Matah, class dismissed.